What's up, everybody? Whether you're on the East Coast or the West Coast, like me, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. It's early for me. It's 7 o'clock in the morning here out in LA, but I'm here representing the Philadelphia Phillies. I am right across the street from where they had hockey last night. The Los Angeles Kings got their butts whipped by Colorado. But hockey has begun again.
Yes, it has. And then basketball starts in 2 weeks.
I know. There's a big screen right across the street here that shows like LeBron. And speaking of LeBron, if we're going to speak of LeBron a little bit, let's since I'm in LA, let's talk about the big decision that got like 8 million people to watch, and it was a commercial. Thank God I did not watch it. I'd have been pissed.
Oh man, no, yeah,
That was so funny.
Commercial? Hell no. All that for a commercial.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, that was great marketing.
Yeah.
That was amazing marketing. I mean, I'd say I had heard about it. I guess I was watching ESPN or something, and they were talking about like everybody's the big decision, except October 7th, this big decision at noontime, and it was like I don't know what it was. I don't know what the commercial was, but I heard that all it was like for like Cure Auto or something.
I mean, that is a good marketing play, though. I mean, because you knew everybody was going to tune in for that.
Yeah,
so that was a good marketing play on your point.
Hey, listen, I mean, that's a way to make a big parody on that type of stuff. I thought that's being out in LA is kind of funny for that. Like, I'm like, oh, good for everybody that sits there and was watching, waiting for him to say. So, here's what else happened though. The tickets, he said that he was going to make this announcement on October 6th. The tickets for the last game of the season were going for $82, spiked up to $600.
Jesus.
Because they thought it was his last game of his career. Those guys are pissed off.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. You tell me I just paid $600 for a commercial?
For nothing, because he didn't decide nothing. He's like zero.
Yeah,
I don't care. It was funny to me. That was so funny to watch. I mean,
I would have been so pissed.
Yeah, like I said, I don't even know what the commercial was, but they were showing the different things. It was like $82 was the general price for that Lakers ticket, and then it spiked. I'm like, awesome. That's awesome.
I just wondered. It's a great ploy, no doubt about it, man. Because I would have tuned into that too, just to see. But do you think though, on the second and third effects of doing that, where you're kind of duping people to get them to see what you're doing, do you think the second, third effects of that would be that he might have a drop off for future things he tries to do in the future because people are like, I don't do it because it's just gonna be some bullshit. You're gonna waste your money. Do you think that might have a second, third effect down the road for future advertising?
Possibly. I think the Blue Cries Wolf type stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said I thought it was hysterical that I heard
hysterical.
I get the commercial. Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, it's like
hey, Pax, I don't know if you and me are laughing if we spent the $600 like them dudes did to get nothing. I don't think we'd be laughing. But from our point of view,
I'm not that guy anyways. I am not that guy anyways. In fact, I'm the guy the opposite way. I'm making $600. I'm actually making $520 by selling my $82 ticket for $600 because you're the dumbass, not me.
Yeah.
Guess what? I saw his second to last game if I have season tickets. I'll I'll be like one of those little kids, 6'7", 6'7". You know what I mean? Who cares? It's like,
I still never heard that damn 6'7". That's how you know you're old. When we talk about like 6'7", you're like, what the hell is 6'7"? And you can't get a clear answer as to what it is. That's when you know you're old.
it means nothing. It means nothing.
Yeah.
I've learned that. You know, there was a guy who actually explains all that stuff. He's like, oh, yeah, but anyways, there was some baseball last night. And the Mariners are going to go to the ALCS. I am calling it now. I think they win tonight and they clinch.
Yeah.
I definitely think they get the win over Detroit. I don't know if they clinch because I like the way Toronto is still playing good baseball.
No. They clinch to go to the next.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Series. I'm not saying that Toronto has been hitting the ball really well. The one thing that I will say is that Seattle's got some good pitching, and good pitching absolutely will beat good hitting.
Yep, any day of the week.
I thought the saving grace for me for Seattle was the fact that when they beat Skubal, I felt like if they had lost that game with Skubal, that would have been it for them. But when they took that game away from Skubal, I really do feel like the momentum kind of shifted a little bit into their direction. And that's really good for them because if they do get through this series, which we all think they will, then that gives Brandon Wu a little bit more time to hopefully make the ALCS series because they're going to need him at some point.
Yeah.
Well, I can believe that. I was surprised. So Toronto tonight is going with Varland, who didn't do very well in his last outing. And the Yankees are going with Shitter. I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, but that's
Schlitter.
I think I love that name. I would have picked on him all throughout school. That would have been great.
Well, who's a rookie? I mean, this guy's a rookie and he's pitching lights out. So, which is probably the reason why they are going with him. I don't know. I think the Rook is going to do well again. I think that it's possible that this could go 5. I think Toronto wins it at home. I don't think that there's any chance that Toronto loses a series, but I do think it goes 5. I think that because there's no tape on this kid, and he happens to be doing really well. He's earning himself a lot of money.
Yeah, he's definitely earning himself a lot of money.
Well, and you know what? It's so funny because you never hear of rookies coming out of the Yankees organization. Like they buy their players. They don't develop their players.
Sure.
So I mean, the last real rookie that came out of the Yankees organization, I feel like, is Derek Jeter.
I mean, I know Volpe came out of their system, and he seems to be – he's not like an elite, but he's not a bad athlete.
Volpe. I mean, right now Volpe's on what you call not even a heater, but he's on a ice-cold binge. He's got 9 strikeouts in his last 13 at-bats. So Volpe is –
You want to talk about cold. Here are some people that are cold. Their names are Harper, Schwarber, Ohtani. Like the 3 biggest and best hitters of our series, I think, have a combined 17 strikeouts.
Mm-hmm.
And have I think a total of 3 hits between those 3 guys. I mean, I'm counting the strikeouts from Ohtani. He's at 6 already for this series.
No wonder Brad hasn't been in the comments the last couple of days.
I was praying that Brad would show up.
They definitely have to hit the ball. The Phillies definitely have to start to hit the ball.
And then Rob, the Cubs have not been bounced yet. They will be bounced at 4:00 today, though.
Yeah,
you don't think that they're gonna be able to steal 1?
I mean, Craig Helms has already made 2 mistakes the first 2 games that's cost them the 2 games. So I don't trust the way he's managed this series. And right now, I mean, he's got to put the binder down and stop playing the analytical game where once you face that lineup the 3rd time in a row, you take your pitcher out and go to the bullpen. You have to let these pitchers go at some point because Jamison Tyone's a prime example. The game 3 of the wild card round, Jamison Tyone was pitching. Gave up 1 hit through 4 innings and threw 48 pitches, and Craig Counsell pulled him because the top of the lineup was coming up for a third time. Like, what are we doing? He's thrown 48 pitches in 4 innings, and the Padres can't hit him. Like, why are we taking him out right now?
I don't understand that either. I get the analytical side of it, but I also get the momentum side of it. And I feel like if he's pitching good, he's hitting his location and not killing him, why would you take him out? That makes no sense.
It just bothers me. Like all these men, like I get the playoffs are different. Like you try to get 5 innings out of your starter and then go to the bullpen after that because you have so many built-in off days where you can use your bullpen a little bit more during the regular season. But why use them if you don't have to use them? Like if you have a starter that's cruising, let them go as long as they can go until they start to show signs of like they're going to get in trouble.
Well, I'll tell you, I understand about mistakes being made by the manager because there's been some bad mistakes that were made. I won't call them bad because I guess the ideology was sound, but first off, you got something going in the 9th inning. All of a sudden, the bats start working. Mm-hmm. You've got 2 runs in and a man on second base who probably should have never even made it to second base. He probably should have stopped at first base, but he luckily got into second base. He somehow maneuvered his hands to get around the tag. And then you have Stott, who has been definitely hitting much better in the last month and a half of the season, since the beginning 4.5 months. And the first pitch, like trying to lay down the bunt, I get, just to try to maneuver around everybody. The second one, you have to swing away. You cannot lay that bunt down. And then if you're going to lay that bunt down, you got to lay that bunt down by the first baseline, not the third baseline. Yeah. And then you got to also have somebody who is a little bit faster. Actually, let's face it, a lot faster than Nick Castellanos. Yeah. I love Nick Castellanos, but watching that play in its entirety, he didn't have a big enough lead. He is too slow. There was no way that he was going to make it to third base ever. I felt that even if they hit it down the first baseline, that Freeman has got a good enough arm and they had everything together well enough to be able. It might have even been a double play if it happened that way because the way he bunted that ball. And it's like you made your first out at third base. That is like a cardinal sin. Mm-hmm. Like you don't make the first out of the inning on third. You don't make the last out of the inning on third. Those are cardinal sins. And it's like, no. And that's that. Yes, they should have had a pinch runner. I know that they had a pinch runner for Bader. You know what I mean? Wow. Bader gets the hit, and they had to put him. Yeah, they had to use it for him. I understand that. But bringing a pitcher to run, your fastest pitcher, who cares? We got a guy named Romano who's not going to pitch a ball. Let's see if he can run. You know what I mean? Put him there.
Speaking of pinch runners too, like the Cubs signed Billy Hamilton at the end of August. What was the point of signing Billy Hamilton? To basically use him as a pinch runner in the postseason, I would assume, because Billy Hamilton can still steal bases. Not only did the Cubs not put him on the playoff roster, but the Cubs don't have a single stolen base in the playoffs. So why did we sign a guy like Billy Hamilton whose specialty is to pinch run and you haven't even used the guy yet?
Is there any? Stolen bases in the playoffs right now?
I believe the Mariners have a couple. The Blue Jays have a couple.
I think the Phillies have one stolen base, maybe.
But maybe look at the teams that aren't stealing bases, though. The Phillies and the Cubs. They're not stealing bases, and they can't hit worth a shit right now. You're at some point, you're going to have to manufacture run some way.
Neither are the Dodgers. The Dodgers aren't stealing bases. You know what I mean? Really, so it's not like this series is.
Anyways, though.
Yeah, this series is. It's supposed to be the home run ball series. Like these are supposed to be the 2 best teams. They're not playing like the 2 best teams. From what it looks like to me, that right now, as things stand, Milwaukee is going to be the one that makes it to the World Series.
Yeah, that team
and
right
and
now.
Yeah.
and then it's a coin flip between Seattle and Toronto.
And you can
know
tell,
what I mean?
like, I don't always like to like say like spirits can help teams win and things like that because there's so many things that have to go right for teams to win a World Series. Like you have to get hot at the right time, you have to be healthy, and so on and so forth. You can tell the way the Brewers are playing right now. They're playing for Bob Uecker, and they want to win this for Bob Uecker because of when Bob Uecker passed this year. Like everything they have done this season has gone in their favor. They've had a 14-game win streak, an 11-game win streak, a 10-game win streak. They go and trade for a guy in Andrew Vaughn who is completely useless with the White Sox, and he turns into one of their best hitters once the Brewers get him. They go and get Quinn Priester from the Red Sox, who was released from their 40-man roster, and all he does is go 13-3, and the Brewers are 21-2 in his last 23 starts. Like, everything they have done this year has turned into gold, and it's just like, yep, you're pretty much playing for Bob Uecker at this point, and he's helping you win a lot of this stuff.
I can see it's that out of all of us, the only one that should be happy right now is Bo with the Mariners, because I've been living in frustration all season, and you two have been riding high a little bit. Now the frustration is all across the board.
I didn't
itself out.
I didn't expect the Cubs to beat the Brewers because the Brewers are a better team. Like I thought,
you can give them at least a little bit of it. I thought
the series was at least going to go 5 games, and I thought the Cubs would put up a little bit of a fight. But like the first 2 games of the series, it's been completely freaking lifeless. Like I thought it was going to go 5 games.
Let's hear from Bob Uecker.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. Down it, I love them. These fans know I drink light because it's less filling and it tastes great. Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row.
Come on.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
Good seats, hey, buddy. He missed the tag.
He must be in the front row.
Thinking
exactly. You know, like that's one of the greatest commercials of all time. That and the Miller Lite Twist to Open. That was also a great one.
They should have put those commercials in the movie Major League when he was in Major League, and just like have like the random Major League commercials with Bob Uecker in there just to make that movie that much funnier.
Exactly. I mean, it's like that's why I said when we said Bob Uecker, and I know that he did pass this year, and it's yeah, and you know, it's like it's so weird that sometimes that you can kind of rally behind. It's whatever I guess you can need to put on the bulletin board to be able to make things happen. You know, I'm relying. I mean, the Phillies. You know, interestingly enough, the Phillies have decided to forego their gray road uniforms. And they brought their powder blues, which forces me to have to wear my powder blue uniform. And I am feeling a little funny because I have to wear blue into Dodger Stadium. So it goes by my Papa Smurf look almost.
Yeah,
where I have the red mohawk and I look like a powder blue, you know, and it's there's white around, so there's a little differences, but hey, I'm going to be at this game. It's going to be a big deal, and we are the one thing that I have going for me here and that I'm relying on is that the Phillies love coming to LA. They, for whatever reason, they hit the ball in this park. And it's like you got, I think, Turner's from close by here. I mean, just the guys hit in this park.
Yeah.
And I am needing them to hit the ball a lot. I need them to bring this back home because I want a game on Saturday.
Well, that answers the question for Moose, because Moose said, "Are you going to be on the red eye going to Jersey for the Eagles?" And I gotta tell you, Pat, I think if you get swept tonight, I think you will be in the first train smoking to Jersey.
I'm not sure about that. I'm really not. It's such a pain to try to change flights. You know, I think I might be out on this Eagles game. which is a shame because obviously it's my first Eagles game that I'm missing in 3 years, home and away. Last year I did 21 games. They played in a different, hemisphere, last year.
Yeah.
And I made it to that game. And listen, the truth is that playoffs trumps regular season. You have to have rules. Without them, we live with the animals, as they said in John Wick.
Yeah.
I'll be heading to Wrigley. I'll be heading to Wrigley for today's game, and it's temperature showing 59, which is not terrible, but the wind is supposed to be 20 miles an hour off the lake, so it's going to feel like freaking 40. It's going to be nice and crisp out there today.
Well, which I think helps the Cubs.
I do.
Here's what I do think.
Brewers steal bases. And that's something that Jameson Taillon has an issue with, is keeping runners on base. So if the Brewers even get a single, they're going to start running right away. And if we can't nullify the run game, it's going to be a long day.
Here's what I do think. MLB does not want sweeps. For the wild card games, yes, they don't care about that.
Yeah, they're losing money when they get sweeps.
So this is where I hope that they kind of do what they did to the Phillies in 23. I remember sitting there and watching, and all of a sudden in the 6th inning, the umpires shortened the strike zone for the Phillies pitching. And it was odd. It was odd watching it. It was like balls that were coming in that were strikes are no longer strikes. And it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. We talked about it here on the show that an inch and a half, if you use the outside of the black in comparison to the inside of the plate, inside of the black, that inch and a half makes a difference on balls and strikes a lot. So,
but let me ask this: what's the difference with Major League Baseball doing that to alter the game to give them an outcome that they're looking for versus a player going out there?
They can't do that. See, that's the thing about baseball, is that they can't do that to alter the game. They can do it and hope that it works out that way.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because here's what happened. Here's what happened in the backside of that. So for the next 2 games, for Game 3 and Game 4 of that series, from the 6th inning all the way through Game 4, that strike zone was used, and you could tell. Like, you could watch that game over again and watch how it just shrunk a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In Game 5, the original strike zone got back again, and the Phillies were up 3-2. The problem is that they went back home, and the cold weather got to them, and the small ball won the games. So now you have Arizona and Texas, the absolute worst World Series outcome that MLB could have wished for. In your series, nobody won a home game. You know what I mean? That was that Houston, Texas series where everybody won on the road.
Yeah.
So there's a piece of me that thinks that what this is going to turn out to be. My thought would be is that MLB wants the Dodgers in. They would love another Dodgers-Yankees rematch. Dodgers-Toronto doesn't do it for them. Dodgers-Seattle sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seattle-Milwaukee, 2 smaller markets, interest just because nobody's won the World Series before. You know what I mean? So you're going to gather some of that type of interest. But ultimately, they need an East Coast team. A Milwaukee Dodgers series, it's like nobody's going to pay attention to that. It's just like the only people that are going to pay attention are the people in Japan because of Ohtani. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
So, I just feel like I just hope the MLB thing. But the problem here's to get back to what I was saying. Even though they may shorten the strike zone, hits are hits. You can't stop them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bang bang plays. Even New York can only do so much. You know what I mean? It's like if the guy is safe, the guy is safe. If the guy is out, the guy is out. You can't really do much more about that.
I mean, I just feel like it's that to me it's like if I'm putting money down, or let's say I'm putting money down in the Phillies, and they all of a sudden start to shrink in the strike zone. Yeah, they can still get hits, but they may be laying off pitches that they think are going to be balls or whatever, and they're actually now being called strikes. To me, that does alter it a little bit. Yeah, they still have to hit it, but I mean, I think that alters it a little bit. If I'm a bettor and I'm putting money on something, I want to keep it should be an even play because there's no difference between them or somebody else throwing the game or doing something that they wouldn't normally do.
See, you're talking about it a little bit different. You're thinking about it from a gambler's perspective. I'm looking at it from MLB's perspective. You know what I mean? And listen, I understand what we're talking about is never, like it would never be spoken about. Like, hey, you have to, like you're just using the inside of the plate rather than the outside of the plate is what we're talking about here to umpires. So that would be a conversation that would have had to have had behind very, secure closed doors. You know what I mean? And so that's not
because if that never got out,
that's not happening is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like I'm saying that it's like, oh, that, in 23, that's what happened. You could see, you can understand, like when you look at that game and you watch at the 6th inning, all of a sudden the strike zone got so much smaller, and you're like, what happened? What happened at that point? Well, the Phillies were up, and they wanted to extend the series. Had the Phillies gone up 3-0, they would have won 4. They would have swept that series.
Right.
And it didn't happen. You know what I mean? And that was the year we should have won the World Series, and we didn't get out of the NLCS. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. This is automatically. So now if you just go to audio, you're just
I'll be right back. I just gotta grab something quick.
gotta do your thing.
I mean, I don't know what you do over there, stat guy. You might be rocking around naked for all I know, but hey, that's fine.
No, obviously he just had his clothes on, so he wasn't.
Well, some people get shipped pretty quick.
Just because you don't wear pants on this show does not mean that not everybody else. I am wearing pants.
I wear shorts.
Jay is probably not even wearing pants when he's outside raking the leaves.
You know what? And I can do that, Stat Guy. You know what I can do that? Because I live out in the sticks. I can go all the way down to the end of the cul-de-sac for a mile, butt naked, and there would be one cop called.
And he's giving me crap. He's like, has anybody checked on the Philly sports guy? And what's the next thing that happened? They showed me on TV.
I did. I was awesome. I even put it in the group chat. I think they're still put it in the group chat. I want to make sure Dustin all them saw. I said, look at Philly. He looks so damn sad.
Well, you know what? And it wasn't like I was sad. It was just like they caught me at a time that there was like really nothing going on. I'm just paying attention and eating peanuts. So it was like kind of funny that I was just like, I'm like, oh, why do they don't catch me when I'm doing anything crazy? You know what I mean? When I'm cheering them on. I mean, but it's funny though, like they showed me on television. Next thing you know, things started happening. Like we started hitting the ball and things, went,
maybe they can show you more often than keep them Phillies engaged.
Well, if things work out, you're going to see me a little bit more often tonight. If I can't guarantee it yet, and I'm not going to put it out there, but
okay,
it's possible you could see me a tremendous amount tonight.
They're probably gonna be like, Philly, are you nervous? Are you nervous that maybe tonight might be your last game of the season?
No, actually, it's funny. They got me right off the plane. I came off the plane and they're putting a microphone on me and got a camera in my face. I'm like, damn, thank God I didn't sleep on the plane and I wore a nice shirt. You know what I mean? It was like, wow. It was like I was going like I didn't even get a chance to like put water on my face or anything. It was and then literally like the news, like Channel 6 was like right there on me, going through my bag, looking at my makeup and stuff like that. I carry my makeup in a Crown Royal bag, and he's like, is that Crown Apple? Yeah, John Paul. John Paul was the one. There you go. John Paul was the one who had me right off of the plane.
How did they even know you were coming today? Are they following your flight itinerary that closely?
So he was on the plane. That's how they know. So the camera guy had a seat in the very front, but he had a seat all the way in the back. And they saw me and they're like, I recognize this guy. Who is this guy? So he must have asked, and the camera guy knew me. Like, because I walked back to go to the bathroom and he's like, I recognize this guy. This is somebody I know. And then it was me. So, and it was cool. We talked about even maybe catching up to maybe go hit the golf ball around tomorrow if we're sticking around for game 4, if he's sticking around for game 4. So
wow, well, good.
How early do you get to Dodger Stadium? Obviously, you're not like the Dodger fans that decide to show up, in the 6th inning before they get there. How early do you tend to get there?
So I mean, I've only been to Dodger Stadium for one series last year, and I got there like a couple hours early. I'm staying 2 miles away. I am probably going to be there at around 3:00 today. The person I'm with has never been to Dodger Stadium, so I don't want, I want to take them around and show them some of the things that we can, we're able to see and stuff like that. Dodger Stadium is still one of the oldest stadiums. I mean, it's number 3 behind, Wrigley and Fenway. It's one of the largest stadiums. It's really cool how it's set up. And there's lots of pictures that you're able to kind of take that are awesome to be, to kind of look over Los Angeles and things like that. So I am going to show them all that. But the Dodgers have a couple of cool things that, like, every bobblehead that the Dodgers have ever given or have played and was able to receive, so if they played at your stadium, and they were giving away a bobblehead, they have that bobblehead all in a room.
Oh, geez.
So it's and which is, so think about bobbleheads from all the way back in the day. To present is it really is kind of cool to see. And then they have, obviously, the Dodgers have a rich history, so it's like there's a lot to see in that stuff, and so it really is kind of cool. And then they have the monster bobbleheads. They have the back area where there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Their bullpens are weird, they're old style bullpens. When you hear the history of Dodger Stadium itself, they're like he were having a hard time trying to figure out where to build the stadium. So what are you doing up there? And they're like, nothing. He's like, all right, let me buy it for $1. And I think that's what happened. He bought that area for $1 and built a stadium on the mountain. You know what I mean? Literally, okay. And it's not, it's still LA, but it's not really considered LA. It's not really an LA spot. But it's away from everything else, and it's kind of cool that it's been there, and it's the largest baseball stadium in MLB. So yeah, just a lot of stuff to talk about it, for Dodger Stadium, and the Phillies love to hit here. They love to hit here.
You're gonna need a lot of love today, Philly, to pull this one out. Just given that the momentum is not on their side, but like you said, they like to hit in LA, so they're going to need to use that tonight to get back.
And they need to
back into it.
Yamamoto going. Yamamoto going.
Now, who do you have on the mound?
Nola.
Okay.
Which, just in thought process, I'm not super keen on. I need him to get out of the first inning. He cannot have his first inning like he normally does. He needs 26 pitches to get himself together, and I have a feeling that they're going to go after him early.
Would you be okay if the Phillies decided to do an opener? for Aaron Nola and just go somebody in the first inning to get through
He's
that.
still
part.
got to do the 26 pitches to get himself together.
No,
So
I'm
if-
not saying that, but at least he avoids like that top three of the lineup with Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, where if it does take him 26 pitches to kind of settle in, he's doing it with the weaker part of the lineup in the second and third inning.
Yeah, but I don't know that that's a real statement. You know what I'm saying? Like yes, all right. So he's missing Ohtani and Betts and
Freeman.
Hernandez. Is it Teoscar Hernandez?
Teoscar hits fourth or fifth. It's
No,
Freeman.
he's been hitting number 3.
Oh, has he? So then Freeman's further down then.
Yeah, Freeman's number 4.
Okay.
So you have number 4, and then you got into the other Hernandez, Kiki Hernandez, and stuff like that in the 5th or 6th spot. These guys all have a little bit of power. You know what I mean? And they've been batting Will Smith 9th, which is odd to me because he's actually got some power too. But I guess that's just to get it back to, the beginning of the, maybe have somebody on base for Ohtani. But ultimately, I need him to have a first inning of under 20 pitches. That's what I need.
Right.
I need for him to have his location early. And I need the Phillies to work the counts. Because Yamamoto now is in his postseason form. You know what I mean? He pitched that first game against the Reds. Great. I think he let up one
Snell
run.
did a good job against you guys. Snell is he pitched a hell of a good game.
Snell's on a heater right now.
He really is.
Snell did well, but I mean, they were going back and forth with just one. There was 2 hits in that game through 6 innings. You know what I mean? And Snell was out at that point because he had thrown 100 pitches. So they did what they needed to do with Snell. They couldn't hit him, although in the 6th inning they really should have been able to.
Yeah.
They once they got that first hit, you could tell he had lost 4 miles per hour on his fastball. He was wearing down. He was not as good with his command.
And that's always been the thing with Snell. Like, as good of a pitcher as Snell is, he's not one of those pitchers that'll sit like around like 95, 96, and like as the game goes down, he might like dip to like 94. It's like all of a sudden he goes 95, 96, next and he's at 92. Like all of a sudden, like the drop off from his velocity sometimes from one inning to the next is like, okay, yeah, he's tired now.
Well,
Let's pull him.
and not only that, but he was throwing change up. Like, so he threw nothing but change ups to Turner.
Yep.
And then he threw sliders, nothing but sliders really to Schwarber.
Yep.
Schwarber couldn't get him. You know what I mean? And it just, they said one after another. I felt like he got lucky in the 6th inning, to get out of that inning because he was at you're right. He was at 92 miles per hour on his fastball. It's just like, why are you having the hard time? But they were ahead of them. They were ahead of the pitches. So ultimately you're having issues. So we'll see. Tonight's going to be a different night. Yamamoto does have a couple of pitches. He's got one of those weirdo pitches as well.
He's got the gyro slider. He's got a split change. He's got 6 pitches he can go with.
What the heck is a gyro slider? What is that?
It's basically a knuckleball slider. It's a slider that has no spin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he throws that about 88.
And I will say that the Phillies have hit him well before. So I don't think that it's impossible. Like I said, we're in LA. So I like the fact that we're here. We do well here. Now's the time. Now is the time. But there is no tomorrow, until there is. So now is the time that we have to hit the ball. And you're going to be hearing me. You will definitely be hearing me. I am going in there into the belly of the beast. And I've already had Dodgers fans. The Dodgers fans have been, they know that I'm here. I've had fun with them. I saw the families. They, of course, they escort the families out with security. They don't want anything to possibly happen. So as the families were leaving, they had to walk past me. And it was all security, so it's not anything. And I'm like, hey, congratulations, but we'll see you back here on Saturday. Well, I'm going to LA. You guys ain't done with me yet. And it's funny because all the security's looking at me laughing because they know what I'm doing. They know I'm not, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to cause an issue or do whatever. And I'm just like, congratulations, guys. You guys snuck this one out on us. But yeah, unfortunately, you have to listen to some of the things that they're talking about with the manager here a little bit. That Topper has made a couple of really bad decisions. That bunt is going to go down, and they could talk about where the placement of the bunt was. Truth of the matter is that the moment that bunt went down the third base side, Nick should have never have ran.
Yeah.
So it should have been a hey, here I am. Yeah, nobody was covering second base because the second baseman, like the shortstop had to go that way. The second baseman had to go to first. So he could have gone like halfway and been able to make it back without a problem. But he tried to go full speed, which, I mean, no offense, but I think I could be really close to beating him in a race. And I'm not the fastest man in the world. So all that being said, it was just like I think that was just bad management there. Yeah, and like I said, Stott's been hitting the ball so much better in the second half of the season, and especially the last month and a half. He's been one of the more consistent hitters to take the bat out of his hands for a bunt.
Doesn't make sense.
With a guy who's not fast, who ran his heart out to get to second base, just got there, But then Nick said something, and Nick is one of my favorite players on this team, and I know that he's had a frustrating back end of the season. But when he said that the booing is part of the reason on why they lost, listen. You don't get to say that to us. You don't get to say that to us. We are watching you guys play. We are watching some of the mistakes that are happening here. We are intelligent baseball fans. In October, this becomes a Phillies town. There is a lot of Phillies fans that are in Philadelphia. It's definitely an Eagles town. But it paints red in October, and we care enough about this team to know that what good and bad baseball is. And that decision was poor. It was a poor decision by the manager to the first one, you square up, change the offense around, change the defense around a little bit. Then you go and you swing the bat. Now you got your third and your first baseman in. Even if you go and you swing the bat and you're trying to do whatever, I think that so many different things could have happened, and it didn't. Is what. So I think that the bunt call itself was poor. Like, I don't think that you should have done that. I don't think you needed to. I don't think you needed to do that.
Although I like that one dig that Freeman did to end the game at first to get that guy out. That dig that he pulled when the boy put the ball into the dirt. I thought that was a good call by Freeman. That was a good play.
Well, he handled the ball. He handled the ball, and he was on the bag. It wasn't close. Like, he was still well in the bag. Freeman made the play look a little bit more difficult than it was. Like, yeah, the ball was in the dirt, but he could have handled it differently. It would have been fine. He still would have been out. I think Freeman made it look more difficult than it was. I'm diving for the ball, and I have to flail my foot a little bit to make sure that I'm touching the bag. He was on the bag. You know what I mean? There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
When it comes to booing, I will always boo more so defensive mistakes, routine plays that that you should make in your sleep, and just kind of stupid lazy base running type things. But I will never boo the Cubs really if they strike out when they're hitting, because it is so freaking hard to hit in Major League Baseball now. When you got guys coming in throwing 104 and then all of a sudden your next pitch is like a 92-mile-an-hour slider in the dirt, like it is so freaking hard to hit in Major League
That's
Baseball.
why you get paid all that damn money.
It don't
You get
matter.
paid all that damn money because it is hard.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, like,
it's not going to be easy. Otherwise, we'd all get paid, right?
But like the fans that, like, a lot of the fans that are booing like the people striking out and booing the hitters, it's just like, have you ever tried to hit a major league pitcher now? Like, it's not like these hitters are not trying to hit the baseball. It's just like the pitchers now are so good compared to what they were even 15 years ago that there's a reason why only one National League batter, congratulations Trey Turner, hit over 300 in the National League this year. Trey Turner was the only batter in the National League that hit over 300 this year, and there was only 5 hitters in Major League Baseball that hit over 300 this year. There's a reason why nobody hits 300 in Major League Baseball right now. Luis Arraez, prime example. Luis Arraez is a career 313 hitter. He only hit a 274 with the Padres this year. Like, it is not easy to hit in Major League Baseball right now. That's why, like, if my team is striking out and whatnot, it is what it is, because I know how difficult it is to hit some of these pitchers nowadays. That's why if I'm going to boo, I'm going to boo for, like, lazy play and like routine mistakes that you shouldn't make, but I'll never boo my team if they're striking out and not hitting, because I know how difficult it is to hit now.
I would boo them if they were swinging at bad pitches,
and
chasing pitches, because then you're not playing.
and here's what's going to happen because of this, because of the way the pitching has been lately. I suspect that in the next 2 years, they are going to lower the mound by an inch, and they are going to push it back 6 inches.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. You're going to get a 1 inch by 6 inch movement. And that'll change a lot. Obviously, that's so much is small, but they have to change it throughout all of baseball. And actually, what may stop that from happening, because if they go to this, robot balls and strikes,
ABS,
that'll stop that, because that'll really make a difference with that.
Like Mason Miller.
Anyways, like it says, it's
like Jay, what you were saying about swinging at pitches in the dirt. Mason Miller against the Cubs in Game 2 threw a 95-mile-an-hour slider that was basically belt high until it got about a foot in front of home plate, and then it dropped to the ankles.
Yeah.
You're already committing to swing at a 95-mile-an-hour slider before that thing even drops, and if that thing drops a foot in front of home plate into the dirt, like, what are you supposed to do? That's faster than some pitchers even throw a fastball, and that slider's looking like a strike for basically 59 feet, and then all of a sudden it drops. Like, you're already committed to swing before that pitch even starts to drop.
right.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what I would do, I'd be like, I don't know what I would do, because I'm not talented enough to play baseball.
I've faced 80 miles.
Like me personally, I'm not talented enough to play at that level, right? But these dudes, they're getting paid. I understand the point you're saying. And if the first time through the lineup, okay, the first time you see them, okay, get there. But the second or third time through the lineup, you should understand that the type of pitches he throws and make your adjustments. If you're a professional athlete making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions, you better be able to make those challenges. Or maybe you're just not worth the money we're paying you. And maybe you're just ripping off the economy, taking all this money, but you can't adjust.
Listen, stop.
You know what I
stop.
mean?
Because the truth of the matter is that
make adjustments.
The fans aren't
adjustments.
paying these players. The owners are.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
you have a player right now, Ohtani, who is getting paid, ridiculous. Well, he's not getting paid it yet, but he's getting paid ridiculous amounts of money. And so far in this series, he's got 1 little bloop hit and 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's been on base twice, in this series. And, so is he worth all that money? Doesn't matter if the team is still winning, then you have Soto, who is, is he not worth all that money? Well,
And like when it comes to making adjustments, like I get that hitters are supposed to make adjustments, but there are so many pitchers now that throw 4, 5, 6 pitches, and all 6 pitches come from the same arm slot. All 6 pitches look the same exact way going into home plate. So if you're used to like if you're trying to sit on a curveball and look for a certain spin, if all 6 pitches you're seeing has the exact same spin coming from the exact same arm slot, at that point you're just guessing and hoping you guess right. Like if you're guessing 98-mile-an-hour fastball and all of a sudden it's an 87-mile-an-hour curveball, you're screwed. If you're sitting on 89-mile-an-hour slider, but it comes to a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, you're not making contact. So many pitchers now have gotten so good at throwing all of their pitches from the exact same arm slot, throwing all their pitches with pretty much the exact same spin rate, that hitters are just up there guessing. It's not a matter of sitting, like even in 2-0, 3-0 counts now. 5-6 years ago, Jay, you knew a 3-0 count, you were getting a fastball. 3-0 counts, you're not even getting fastballs anymore. You're getting changeups and you're getting sliders on a 3-0 count because they know hitters are going to be swinging at it. And if you're not ready for that pitch, all of a sudden it's 3-1, and then the next pitch, you're expecting breaking ball and you get a fastball, you follow it off, and now it's a 3-2 count. Like hitters at this point are not able to zero in on pitches anymore. It's pretty much a guessing game at home plate, and you're hoping to guess.
Well,
right.
you know what? I'll tell you right now, Ohtani and I forget the other guy, but they were hitting multiple home runs in the same game. So it can't be that damn hard if people are out there hitting multiple home run games. And we've seen this all across the board throughout the regular season and in the playoff, where you see in multiple home run games. So, I mean, 3 for 4s, 3 for 4s, 2 for 5s. So it can't be that hard.
They're still guessing, though. Like if you look at Ohtani,
I mean, I'm not saying it's not hard, but you know what I'm saying? They're able to do it.
yeah,
I mean,
but
there's
44
300 hitters on the Astros right now. Myers was one of them, and Altuve, up to a certain point, was the other one. So I know that there are 300 hitters out there. They are able to hit the ball. I don't think the excuses, well, the ball jumped 4. I remember Nolan Ryan had a 6-inch drop, and people were bitching and complaining about Nolan. I mean, it's not like this is something new.
Why do you think the Major League Baseball average as a whole this year is a 241 as a whole?
Actually, it's 245. The average is 245.
Still, but 245 as a whole for the entire league, like that is basically less than 1 out of every 4 times people are getting a hit. Like, there's a reason why it's where it is. Like, yes, a lot of hitters are fundamentally flawed because they don't go the opposite way and they don't play to the way the defense is lined up. But part of that is because hitting is so hard now. Like, hitters don't want to give themselves up. Hitters want to try to at least make contact because it's so hard to hit in baseball now. Like, when it comes to Ohtani, 44 of his 50, did he have 54 homers or 53? I think he had 54. But 44,
54.
44 of his 54 home runs were on fastballs. So Ohtani's still guessing, and usually when he gets a fastball and guesses right, he's going to hit it a ways. But if he's not getting a fastball, if you look at a lot of his outs, they're little soft ground balls or like pop flies. Like if he's not guessing right, he does not square up a baseball.
And that's just really eye and bat speed.
Yeah.
So, and the bat speed for hitters has gotten a lot faster. We want to talk about why hitters can't seem to place the ball anymore. When you think about the bat speed of Tony Gwynn, Gwynn had great bat speed, but he also was able to like locate the pitch really well. Like he had great vision. Like, and that's like, there's so much that goes into this. Like, it's like when somebody told me, like, they said, hey, listen, if you had 100 at bats, how many hits would I get? And I said that I thought that I'd get 3, and that if I'm lucky, I may get, like, I thought I'd get, I definitely get 1.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you would get 0. You'd get 0 hits. And I'm like, that's not true, because I will get lucky on 1. Like I will be able to like swing the bat and get lucky on hitting the ball. And this is at 100 at bats.
Yeah.
If I win a season of at bats, I mean, I'm going to get some hits just because I have to get lucky. You know what I mean? Even what's his face? Roberto Colon was able to get lucky on one time where he hit a home run.
Roberto Bartolo.
Bartolo Colon, yeah, Roberto.
I think he took Clemente and Colon and put them 2 people together.
But I think that like you were saying, like the bat speed is a lot faster now, and a lot of that I think has to do with the increased velocity. Like players know they have to speed up their bats because of the velocity they're seeing now. So now it's like you're going to be ahead of anything like under 95 miles an hour. You're going to be ahead of, which is unbelievably to say. Like 95, like back in the day, was if you made contact at 95, you would be like, holy shit, I made contact at 95. Like I feel good. Anything under 95 now, you are going to be so far ahead of it that you're just going to beat it into the ground, pop it up, or swing and miss because you're used to seeing things 98 to 100 now. And that's why hitting is so difficult now, because you've had to speed up your bat speed. That a normal 95-mile-an-hour fastball, you're not going to square that up like you used to.
Which is also the reason why I think that there's a place now in baseball for the slow pitcher.
Exactly, because now if you throw a slow pitcher out, there's so many guys are going to be ahead of you. Like,
Right.
No idea what to do. Like a Jamie Moyer type can absolutely throw a 74-mile-per-hour fastball, and hitters can't do anything about it. That's what I mean.
Because it's all about timing.
Was it Phil Niekro? Where's Frankie at? Phil Niekro throwing the knuckleball.
Astros. I know Phil Niekro. He played for the Stros. You don't need Frankie. Get Frankie out of here. You don't need Frankie here.
That's what made Kyle Hendricks so good with the Cubs for 5 or 6 years, because he was throwing 88, 89 in an era where pitchers were throwing 96 plus, and hitters weren't used to seeing that. But once Hendricks started to lose his location, because he was also a location pitcher that had to work the corners, once he started to lose that location, hitters were able to weight back on that 88, 89-mile-an-hour fastball when he was pitching and started cranking it. But there was like a 5 or 6 year run for Hendricks where he was throwing in the high twos for an ERA, because people weren't used to seeing an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. They were used to the 95, 96. So when he came out there, it's like, crap, I actually have to weight back on this, and I'm not used to that because my timing is used to the 96, 97.
Well, that's the whole point of the changeup to begin with, was to confuse him with timing. You mess up the timing, right? I mean, if you can time something, you can hit it. But if you're switching the speed and the locations, I get why it's hard. It is.
That's why it was. That's how the throwing on a string. It's like that's when like the yo-yo pitch, where it was like you were throwing like it looked like a fastball in every which way, and you had the timing for the fastball down, and then it was coming across at 76 miles an hour. Well, you were so far ahead of it. It's like it's. You're looking like the Bugs Bunny. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. And the ball's like, just, but, so, well, good luck to the Cubs and the Phillies today. I know that the Phillies are going to do it, but let's hope that Dustin doesn't brave the cold for nothing, and he winds up getting.
Before you get out of here, I just want everybody to know, and then in the comments section too, for you guys, I am here as a counselor for the grieving. If you don't get it tonight, or Dustin, if you don't get it tonight, you can certainly pocket dial me. I will answer, and I'm here for all of your needs. And as well as even Brad Kryson, I see you decided to come in. Brad, first of all, you suck. Your team's dumpster garbage. I pee better than you can hit. I hope that you call me, Brad. I am here for you, Brad. I am here for you.
I get more.
Brad, I'm here for you.
Cubs lose, I got more playoffs starting in 2 weeks. Chicago Fire made the playoffs for the first time in like 10 years.
So and so does the Union. The Union.
We got more playoffs in 2 weeks. We got more playoffs coming if we're out.
And I'm still the best team in football, unlike the stinking Cowboys. Guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day.